Welcome to Ron Paul's tutorial. Today we are going to look at how to sketch a cubic. A cubic is an expression or a polynomial that have the highest degree, which is to the power of 3. Now, first of all, we need to get the values of x, where y is 0. Now, how do you do that unless you apply the method of remainder theory? A remainder theory, you try to put in a -1 to see if, after putting a -1 on the place of x, if you can get a 0. Okay? Now, in this case, let's try to put in +2. +2, né? Let's say x equals to +2. I put a 2 here. This one gives me 8. I put a 2 there, 4, 12, minus 8, minus 12. Let's see if we can get 0. 8 plus 12, the answer is 20. Minus, negative, minus 12, the answer is minus 20. So when I subtract the 2, I get 0. That means the 2 is the right factor. Okay? Now, you write it, x minus 2 equals to 0. This one becomes our first factor. That is step 1. Step number 2, we use what we call long division. Okay? We use long division. Now we have that x minus 2 is one of the first factor that goes into x to the power 3 plus 3x squared minus 4x minus 12. Okay? Steps to deal with long division. You ask yourself, how many times can x go into x to the power of 3? Probably is x to the power of 2. Because when you multiply x with x, they are the same. You add the index that gives you the same x to the power 3. Okay? What is next? You multiply x to the power of 2, multiply by x. We get x to the power of 3. It's positive, but you change the sign to a minus. Okay? Then you come to the next step. -2 multiplied by x to the power of 2. It gives us -2x to the power of 2. You change the sign to positive. Okay? What is next? I solve. 3x to the power 3 minus x to the power 3. They cancel out. 3 plus 2 is 5x to the power 2. I bring down the remaining terms. Okay? Step by step. From there, you start over. X into 5x to the power 2, probably 5 times. Okay? Now 5x multiplied by x, you get 5x squared. Introduce a minus. -2 multiplied by +5, you find is -10. Okay? -10x. You change it to a positive. You don't forget. The process continues. These two will cancel out. Now, -4 plus 10. Probably you keep the sign in front of the big number. In this case, 10 is bigger than 4. That means our answer is going to be positive. So you just subtract this one. So we have 6x. I bring down the 12. Okay? I start over. X into 6x, that is plus 6. 6 multiplied by x is 6x minus -2 multiplied by +6, you get -12. You change it to positive, you solve. These two will cancel. These two gives us a 0. Okay? Now, Our quotient here is in a quadratic, so we are going to have x minus 2 as the first factor, and then x squared plus 5x, and then plus 6. That one is a quadratic. We factor that one. How do we factor this one? This is what you do. Let's look for the two terms that goes into 6. When you multiply them, you should get a 6, but when you add them, you should get a 5. What are these factors? Let's say 2 and 3. Okay? 2 multiplied by 3 is 6. 2 plus 3 is 5. So these are the correct factors. Now, this operation here tells you something. What is it telling you? That all the operation in your bracket should be positive. Okay? So it's going to be x plus x plus. So I put a 2, put a 3 there. Okay? The first factor is that one. Now I have my 3 factors that goes into there. Then we equate it to 0. This one, in this case, when you are getting all these factors, the y is equals to 0. Okay? Now, I need to get the values of x. X minus 2 equals to 0, or x plus 2 equals to 0, or x plus 3 equals to 0. Okay? Now, how do I get the value of x? I introduce the positive additive, or the additive of negative 2, the inverse. What is the inverse of negative 2? It should be a positive. So, I introduce on both sides plus 2, this side also plus 2. Okay? These two will do what? Will cancel out. I only have x. 0 plus 2, the answer is 2. Okay? The same apply there. You introduce the inverse, which is, since it's positive, is going to be negative 2 on both sides. These two will cancel out. I have x equals to minus 2. Okay? Same apply here. Additive inverse, it will be minus 3 on both sides, minus 3. These two will cancel, x equals to negative 3. Now, on these points of x, when the line is going to cut x, the y is 0. Okay? What is our y-intercept? You come back to the original. The y-intercept equals to negative 12. You put that in mind. Okay? You need space here. It's a long journey, You just need to be persistent. It's a very long journey. Now, what is next is for me to find the turning point. Okay? I have my x already here. Now I need to get the turning point. So for me to get the turning point, I should reduce this one. So as x3 plus 3x squared minus 4x minus 12. Isn't it? Now, to reduce this one, you use what we call you get the derivative of that one. Okay? So it was f of x. Let us use the derivative. What happens is that you multiply the power with the coefficient and then subtract or reduce the power with 1 degree. Okay? Now here, 3 multiplied by 1, you get 3x. Now 3 minus 1, we are reducing by 1, it becomes 2. Plus 2 multiplied by 3 is 6. 2 minus 1 is 1. This one is to the power 1, isn't it? 1 minus 1 is 0. Anything raised to the power 0 is 1. Now 1 multiplied by 4 is minus 4. Okay? Now it's in the form of a quadratic. Okay? What is next? I introduce a quadratic formula for me to get the values of x. Okay? I bring in the quadratic formula and it goes like this. X equals to minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4a and c out of 2a. Okay? So our values a, b and c. You put it aside there. Our a here is 3, b is 6, c is negative 4. I substitute them. Okay, negative, open bracket, b plus or minus the square root. B is 6 squared minus 4. What is a is 3. Okay, c is what? Negative 4. Out of 2a is what? 3. When you press this in your calculator, what value are you getting? What value are we getting? Press this in the calculator. You don't waste your time, in exams. We get what? This one. This inside here.
Inside it will be the first one, it will be 36.
36. 36. This one will change to positive,
Yes.
and that is plus. Okay, it's 12. 12 times